Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a brand new pick a pile for you guys today, and today we are asking the question, what is haunting you? So yes, this is basically going to be kind of like, anything that may be holding you back, basically. It could be from your past, it could be just like subconsciously, just whatever kind of may be holding you back, kind of creeping in there in the back of your mind, and just anything that may be keeping you from moving forward or holding you back from accomplishing certain goals and doing certain things in your life. Just something that haunts you. It's like something that basically lingers in your life. So we're going to take a look at what that could possibly be today. Also, just a quick little reminder, you guys, all December long, I am live on TikTok every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Every Thursday, I'm live on Instagram at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And every Saturday, I am live here on YouTube at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So Central Standard Time, 9 p.m., straight across the board, every single place, just TikTok Tuesdays, Thursdays, Instagram, and Saturday here on YouTube. So hopefully I will see you guys there at one of those, if not all of them, totally up to you. And just another quick little reminder that I am offering private readings at this time. So if you guys are interested, if what I do resonates with you, I'd love to hear from you and, help you a little bit further and a little bit more in depth with your own journey and your own stuff going on. So anyway, let's jump into these piles here, and I'm going to introduce them to you. And we have all 5 different Christmas ornaments to go through, so let's get into it. Pile number 1 is, as I'm dropping the hook, I don't want to lose that. These aren't even my ornaments, they're my mom's. So pile number 1 is a red Christmas ornament, or a red icicle Christmas ornament. Duh, it's a Christmas ornament. I'm sorry, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning as I'm recording this right now. It's been a long day. Anyway, yes, it's a icicle Christmas ornament. It's red, it has a little bit of sparkly white stuff up at the top of it, and yeah, this one's pile 1. Pile number 2 is this glistening gold ball. It's see-through. It has like these little vines and flowers kind of running through it. It kind of reminds me of Cinderella's carriage, actually, in some ways. So yeah, this one is pile number 2. Pile number 3. I don't even know what shape you would call this, but pile number 2 is one of these kind of ornaments. It's pink and it's gold, and yeah, I don't know what the shape is. It's like, a round ball at the top, and there's another smaller ball down here, and it kind of like goes down like an icicle in a sense, but it's not quite an icicle really. So this pink one, that's very interesting, pink and gold, is pile 3. Pile 4 is this adorable little present ornament. It looks like it's a hat box, basically. So, got stuck on my pajamas. But yeah, so this one is pile number 4, the Christmas present hat box. And pile number 5, we have some, not silver bells, but we have some golden bells with a red bow at the top of them. So all very cute ornaments. And go ahead and pick the one that resonates the most with you. Timestamps are down below, and we are going to get started with pile number 1, the red icicle. Hi, pile 1. If you chose the red Christmas ornament, the red icicle Christmas ornament, I don't know why I just want to skip the word icicle. I don't know what is with me, but yes, red icicle Christmas ornament, then this is going to be the pile for you to find out basically what has been haunting you. Oh boy. Okay. So we're going to just get right into it here, and we're going to start things off with What's Brewin', Spillin' the Beans by Firewitch Tarot, because I figured, find out what's brewing, like what is haunting you. We're going to spill the beans basically on what's haunting you. So you guys got depression, private relationship, money hungry, setting the record straight, standing your ground, ready for battle, defending yourself, and sex shop. Okay, so right off the bat, I see a couple of things going on here, you guys. So you definitely have some heavy duty stuff going on, and I can see clearly right off the bat why things are haunting you. And it seems like you guys have a couple of different things that could be haunting you, not just one. So number one, the first thing I pick up on here is definitely there seems to be a love-related situation that is haunting you. With private relationship, this automatically goes to tell me like a third party situation, like maybe you were involved with somebody who was married or was committed elsewhere to somebody else, or perhaps you're the one who's committed elsewhere to someone else or married to someone else, and you've been involved with this other person. So right off the bat, to me, it definitely is an indicator that this could be a third party situation. If it's not a third party situation, because that would be the most obvious reason somebody would want to hide a relationship. This is a hidden relationship for some other reason. There's definitely some kind of shame attached to it, I feel like. Otherwise, it's like, why would you hide it? Why wouldn't you just be transparent and authentic and honest and be just like, yeah, I'm with this person? And, why wouldn't they be just as transparent and be just like, oh, yeah, I'm with them? So, right off the bat, it definitely tells me there is reasons that this situation is hidden. If it's not a third party situation, it could be other things, like maybe there are cultural differences, maybe there's an age difference, maybe there's like religious reasons that clash. There could be a lot of different reasons. You'll know specifically what those reasons are for your situation. But there's definitely like this hidden relationship that's been going on for whatever the reason it's been. And I think because it hasn't had the chance to really, in a sense, come out of the closet, who knows? That could be it too. Maybe whoever's listening to this message right now, maybe you're gay, maybe you're lesbian, maybe you're transgender, maybe you're in one of those situations, and you've been playing it off straight or something like that for years, and secretly you're a girl with a girlfriend or a boy with a boyfriend or whatever the case may be. Like I said, take it as it resonates. But yeah, like I feel like because this has been hidden for so long and it's been stuck inside the closet, so to speak, there's been no freedom, and that's been a burden, keeping that hidden, keeping that a secret, especially if it's a good relationship, especially if this is someone where there's true, pure, unconditional love. It's a heavy burden to hide it when it's something so amazing for whatever reasons it is that you haven't been able to expose it. So I feel like that's definitely a huge reason. With sex shop here, this definitely is another one of my third-party indicators. And I know you're like, wait, why would a sex shop be a third-party indicator? But to me, it kind of says third-party just because it's not so much like the shop itself or the things in the shop or anything like that, but it's more so just like that passion vibe, the vibe of the fact that there would be like this heat and there would be this desire with somebody that maybe you're not supposed to be with, that it's kind of forbidden in a sense. And in a sense, like it being forbidden makes it more appealing, if that makes any sense. And I feel like because this has been so hidden, obviously it has brought in a lot of depression. When we're hiding our true and real authentic selves, whether it's involved in a relationship or some other reason in our life, it can definitely spur on some depression and would be something very haunting. And I feel like in order for you guys to basically release all of this, you need to start setting the record straight and standing your ground, ready for battle, defend yourself. So, with these two cards, I feel like they basically represent the fact that you need to set the record straight. You need to be honest. You need to be truthful. You need to be authentic. You need to be transparent. You need to be real about who you really are, who you're really with, who you're fooling around with. You got to start being real about it. Who knows? Maybe this is something that you've even been lying and denying yourself about the situation in a sense. So you got to get real honest with yourself, and then you got to start getting real honest with others. And maybe not everyone is going to understand it. Maybe not everyone is going to approve of it, but you're not here on this planet to live by other people's rules and regulations. You're not here on this planet to live your life for somebody else. You're here on this planet to live it for you. It's your path, it's your journey. So, if you need to stand up for yourself here, just like this warrior, I mean, look at him. He is definitely standing up for himself. So, if you need to do the same kind of thing and defend yourself, then do it by all means. And I feel like you speaking your truth, you standing up for yourself is going to help relieve a lot of this depression that has been going on. And it's going to, give relief to a lot of what's been haunting you, basically. And with money hungry, on a separate note, in terms of what's haunting you, you could also be going through some money struggles right now at this time. It could be tied to this relationship situation, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. But 2020 has not exactly been kind or generous to any of us this year, as most of you know. Perhaps you lost your job because of everything going on with COVID, or maybe your hours were cut down, whatever the case may be. But I feel like there's a chance you may have fallen on some hard times financially recently. And, I'm not saying, oh, like you're money hungry, you're greedy, you're superficial, or anything like that. But I feel like, if anything, it's more so saying that you're definitely haunted by the expenses of life. You're haunted by your bills. You're haunted by financial struggle and everything, too. So, that's probably just another reason why we have the depression card. Because if you add financial struggles on top of this relationship issue, yeah, that's a lot of crap. That's a lot of shit to be haunting you, basically. So that totally makes sense, and I totally get that, you guys, as to why you might feel that way and why you might be that way. And, there's no quick fix when it comes to the money thing. You may have to go out and get like a temporary job doing something you normally wouldn't do. You may have to get creative and find new ways to make money. You may have to just keep pressing through and keep sending out applications in your field, whatever the case may be. Maybe you'll come across like a family member or a friend who will be kind and generous enough to help you out a little bit. But whatever the case may be, you're probably just going to have to get a little creative here in order to help resolve this issue. So yeah, none of these are going to be resolved overnight, that's for sure. But got a couple more cards here for you guys. I'm going to pull. We got a few cards from the Moonology deck. And from that, we have bring love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius. So I feel like, especially with this third party situation that's probably going on, where you do need to be authentic and you do need to be real and you do need to be true about where you really stand in your love situation. I feel like that's basically saying with bring love into the situation is once again, be proud of that, especially if this is a healthy and loving relationship that is being hidden. It's time for it to step out into the light and reveal itself, because it's almost like this love is being stifled by remaining in the dark. It's like it needs light, like a plant or something to grow. So, bring further love into the situation. Let love be your guide. Let love lead the way. Just continue walking in love. And I feel like that's going to help for sure. We also have you're very close to achieving your goal, gibbous moon. So I feel like this one may actually be more tied to the money issues here that's going on, because I feel like, if you have been struggling financially with money and everything, I'm sure you guys have been doing everything in your power in order to get past that, in order to make your financial situation better. So I feel like with this card, it's basically saying that, yeah, your hard work and your effort towards improving your finances, it is going to pay off. It is going to happen. Maybe it's not going to happen exactly how you thought it would or when you thought it would, but it's definitely going to work out. So don't lose heart, don't lose faith when it comes down to any of the financial struggles you may be dealing with. And surrender to the divine, full moon. And I feel like this is a great card to kind of wrap this up on, because, regardless, whether it's finances, whether it's love, whether it's depression, whether it's speaking up and voicing your truth and being authentic and real, it really all comes down to surrendering to God, basically. And, I feel like a lot of us get confused about the word surrender, because it's almost like we automatically assume that means we have to give up what we love. We have to give up what we care about. Like we have to give up our person, or we have to give up our job, or we have to give up this or give up that. It's not about giving up what we love. It's not about giving up those things. It's about giving up the struggle that makes working those things out so difficult. It's about releasing control, because a lot of the times we want to control the situation and we want to control how it happens and when it happens and what it looks like and all this other kind of stuff. And the truth is, we are just like mere little sparkles of dust in this world. At the end of the day, we are not the size of God. We cannot do what he does, basically. So it's way better that he's in control of the situation than us, because generally as human beings we screw things up pretty good, and it's much better to have God in the driver's seat than us, because when he's in control things go way better. So yeah, anyways, surrender to the divine. I feel like that's ultimately saying, surrender the depression, surrender the struggles in the third party situation, surrender not speaking your truth, surrender the money struggles, start surrendering all of that, and you're going to see a big shift, a big turnaround in all of that. Surrender the worry, surrender the stress, because I'm sure there's lots of concerns about all this. I'm sure there's lots of concerns about, like, what will people think if we're no longer hiding our relationship? What will people think if I set the record straight and speak my truth? I get it. There's a lot of what will people think. Don't worry about what people will think. Worry about what is best for you. That's what ultimately matters. Finally, from Loving Words from Jesus, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away, you guys got, your faith hath saved you. Go in peace. Luke 7:50. So I feel like this card is basically saying, you know, you guys got to keep up the faith. You know, I feel like a lot of you guys are probably pretty discouraged, especially to have this much heavy duty stuff going on right now as to, you know, what is holding you back and haunting you basically. But keep the faith, don't give up. And the more you press on and press through and surrender, as we already mentioned, when you surrender, in place of the struggle, you're given peace. And that's the big thing here. Like, it's totally possible to have your life completely flipped upside down and be in complete and total chaos, but still on the inside, internally, have peace that is achievable. And the sooner you achieve that on the inside, the quicker you're going to start seeing that happen on the outside. And before you know it, peace is going to start happening in your situations and your circumstances and in your relationships too. So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that helped you guys. If it did resonate, please leave me a comment down below. Even if it's a simple small emoji, it definitely goes a long way. Also, please give this video a big thumbs up. That definitely helps me out a lot too. Feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way. Otherwise, I am just so incredibly grateful and thankful that you guys decided to stop on by here and hang out with me and spend some time with me today. It definitely means the world to me. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I'm sending you lots of hugs and much love. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose this golden, kind of see-through, almost like Cinderella's carriage kind of ornament, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what is haunting you. Okay, let's dive in, shall we? Okay, we're going to start off with What's Brewin', Spillin' the Beans by Fireworks Tarot, because basically we're going to spill the beans right here, right now, on whatever it is that's haunting you. We're going to get down to the bottom of this. And you guys have check yourself, trash, throwing away, getting rid of, tossing out, worst nightmare, insecure, crush, and getting a room, hotel, motel, suite, business, and pleasure. Okay. All right. So, for you guys, you do have a little bit of stuff that is haunting you. Thankfully, not as heavy duty as Pile 1. Pile 1 had some serious stuff they were dealing with. But for you guys, I feel like most of what's haunting you is kind of like stuff going on up in your head, basically. It's your thought processes. So the first thing that I see here is insecure, obviously. So I feel like you probably have a lot of insecurities. This could be stuff that, you know, goes all the way back to like childhood or maybe when you were a teenager and that kind of thing. Because, you know, when I see insecure, like, I don't know, when I think of the word insecure and kind of the premise behind it, a lot of the times I think of teenagers, really, because teenagers can be very insecure, you know? It's like you're no longer a kid, you're not an adult, you don't really know who you are, you don't really know where you want to have your life go. And that can bring on a lot of insecurity. You know, you can also get caught up in comparing yourself to your peers and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I feel like there's just like a lot of insecurity. It doesn't necessarily have to be tied to the teenage thing necessarily, but it could be. But yeah, I just feel like you guys have a lot of insecurities going on the inside. Like I said, could be from your teenage years, could be from childhood, could have been something that was triggered from your family background, parents, siblings, so-called friends of the past, whatever the reason, whatever the case may be. But I feel like you guys have a lot of insecurities that are kind of living and taking up space in your head that shouldn't be, that have kind of been chasing you around, and stuff that you've been dealing with for like a number of years, basically. And because you have so many insecurities, I feel like you guys are really good at creating horrible scenarios in your head. Like, it's like you guys have very creative, very active imaginations, but instead of using your imagination for the better, you wind up using your imagination for the worst, which is not what you should do. And that's where the worst nightmare comes in. And I feel like a lot of you guys create these horrible, outlandish nightmare situations in your head, and probably 99.9% of the time, they never actually happen. They never actually come true. That things never go as horrible as you imagine them to be in their head. In your head, you guys may be a little bit of the drama queen group, which is okay. I get it. I have those moments too. But yeah, like, I feel like you guys definitely take these things and exaggerate them to extremes that they really aren't, and they really don't have to be. And then it's like later on, you're like, oh yeah, that really wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Everything's okay, kind of a thing. So I feel like the big message here is, what these mental strongholds, because that's ultimately what these are. They're negative mental strongholds that you guys need to break. And what you guys need to do is basically check yourself. You need to kind of go through a checklist and check in with yourself to kind of see what your thought processes are, what your thought patterns are. It may be a good idea to spend some time in like prayer and meditation. And, if you do that, if you spend time in prayer, if you spend time in meditation, if you spend some time just doing some healing work, going through these boxes and checking things off, you might be able to get down to the root as to what causes your insecurities, and therefore find ways to heal those things, to get past those things. And, I know a lot of people can get really lost and really confused by that. And then they're just like, well, how do I do that? Like, how do I get to the bottom of those things? Especially if it's like inner child stuff or something like that. Like, a lot of the time, we can have like these wounded inner children on the inside of us, and we don't know how to heal them. We don't even know necessarily where it started. But there's so many free meditations and free healings and that kind of thing right here on YouTube. Just kind of like put in some keywords like healing meditation, inner child meditation, stuff like that. And you will probably find a ton of stuff, and, start testing it out. Find people who resonate with you, who do that kind of stuff. And you can, go through this checklist and basically see, what are the roots here of my insecurities? What are the roots? Because I feel like a lot of the times you guys probably like if it's a plant, it's like a weed, basically. It's like if you guys see the weed of an insecurity growing in the garden of your mind, sometimes you'll see it and you'll like you'll pull it, but you'll pull it like at the top of it. Like, you'll grab like the top part of it, but you won't ever like necessarily pull it out at the root. So it's like, while you may have trimmed it temporarily where it's not as prominent and it's not as noticeable, before you notice, again, it's gonna like start growing bigger and stronger again. But that's because you guys didn't pull it at the root. And I feel like that's what you guys need to do. You need to start pulling these insecurities up and out at the root, so that way then they're gone, period, and your mind is renewed and refreshed, and you have better thoughts in place to replace the negative ones that were there previously. So basically, with trash, I feel like you guys need to throw away, get rid of, and toss out those negative emotions, is what it comes down to. That negative thinking, that negative self-talk. You guys probably just need a good, healthy dose of self-love, a little self-esteem booster, that kind of thing. Like, as cheesy as it sounds, like, I don't know if you guys remember like that old Saturday Night Live skit. I forget his name. it was like some blonde guy, and he would sit there in front of the mirror and he would like talk to himself and he'd be like, I am this and I am that, and gosh darn it, people like me. And it's cheesy as all hell, but you may want to do something like that yourself and like look at yourself in the mirror and, you know, tell yourself you're beautiful and identify things that you like about yourself and, you know, things like that. You know, it's going to sound weird and it's going to sound cheesy, but it may actually help, especially the more you do it, because the more you have repetitive stuff of any kind, whether it's positive or negative, it does make a difference. Also, here with crush, I feel like a lot of your insecurities may revolve around love. You may have kind of an askewed perception about relationships and about love, and it could go back to a crush. It could go back to maybe a childhood crush, because we do have two children here on the card. You know, maybe you were rejected, you know, with your first big crush you had as a kid or something like that. Maybe you've been rejected with several crushes over your lifetime, but I feel like some of these insecurities very well could be tied to a crush you've had, to some kind of love situation, that kind of thing. And you could have a crush right now, for that matter, and, you know, if you want that situation to move forward and become more than just a crush, you're probably going to have to let go of some of these insecurities and stuff. Otherwise, you're going to see negative cycles continue to repeat themselves. And with getting a room, hotel, motel, suite, business, or pleasure, I feel like this is basically just saying, like, you guys may need to get away for a little while. I know there's a lot of stuff going on out there with like COVID and everything, and it's not like the best time to travel, but you guys may even want to do like a staycation or something like that. Like, just kind of get like a change of location in order to have a change of perspective. So that's kind of what I see with this card. It's like, just get out of your house for a minute, get out of your room, just get out and go somewhere, basically. Because if you take yourself out of your regular, everyday, mundane thing, it may help reset and reframe your mind frame. You know, it's kind of like, you know, our brains are kind of like electronics, you know, like a lot of the times, like if your cable goes out or if your internet goes out or something like that, what do they always tell you to do? They always say, oh, did you unplug it for 30 seconds, leave it unplugged, and then plug it back in? And did it work after you plugged it back in? And most of the time, it does wind up working once you plug it back in. And you guys may have to do something like this. You may have to like kind of unplug yourself for a little bit, go somewhere, and then you can plug yourselves back in and be plugged back in, working with a reset, renewed, much better mind frame. Okay. We also have a couple of cards here from the Moonology deck. And you guys got, what do you need to release? Well, I think we kind of already answered that question, but there's definitely stuff here that does need to be released. I think that's where going through this checklist is definitely going to help you figure out what that is and throw those things away. And a lot of it is insecurities. Insecurities is what needs to be released, you guys. So I feel like this is just confirmation that that basically needs to happen. We also have a new start is coming, new moon. So I feel like once you guys get into that renewed mind frame, you're going to see everything like flip the switch. You know, if things haven't been going your way, if you've had disappointments, if you haven't felt good about yourself, if your crushes have rejected you, all those things are going to turn around and you're going to feel amazing about yourself. And instead of being disappointed, you're going to get reappointed. Your crushes are going to be like, hey, look at you. There's someone I want to be involved with. All you got to do is flip the switch. And I feel like that new start and that new change is definitely going to come as long as you transform those thoughts. and take time to breathe it out. And I feel like this basically just backs up the whole needing to get out of town, needing to get away, needing to change your perspective, change your location, just temporarily to kind of reframe things. You know, sometimes it's really hard to correct that mindset when we're stuck in the same place doing the same thing day in and day out. Sometimes we physically need to remove ourselves out of that in order to really get a change of perspective. You know, I myself recently had to do that. You know, I live in LA and I'm in Chicago right now, and I wanted to, you know, see my family and stuff for the holidays. And, you know, honestly, with the way this year has been, you know, I have been kind of stuck in a rut and felt like really down and overwhelmed being in LA for like all these months, kind of not being able to go anywhere or do anything. And I myself needed that change of perspective. So I got in my car before Thanksgiving. I packed up my parakeets, my dog who's sleeping back there, a lot of my belongings, and I just drove across country because I wasn't about to get on a plane and risk the whole COVID thing. But that road trip and that time on the road was so incredibly therapeutic and probably way better than a plane flight anyways. And, you know, since getting out of town, getting out of LA for a little while, that's been really helpful for me in changing my perspective for my stuff. So, doing something like that may be beneficial for you too. You may not be able to get in your car and drive across country somewhere, but, you know, even if it's, like I said, just like a staycation or something like that, like go get a hotel room, even in your same town, and just go stay there for one night. And just doing that alone may be helpful. So, whatever works, you know? Finally, you guys, a card from Loving Words from Jesus, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away. You guys got, "Thou shalt love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind." Mark 12:30. So, I feel like that card is basically just saying that, like, I feel like God basically already sees your heart and knows your heart, and He knows that, you know, you love Him and that, you know, you have that connection with a higher power and everything. And that, you know, you have this big heart and this big capacity to love. So don't be afraid to show it. Don't hide it through insecurity or anything like that. Just step out, shine, sparkle, be you, because the world really needs more of you, whether you believe it or not. Oop, as I almost dropped the card. Anyway, that's what I see going on for you guys and what could possibly be haunting you. If it resonated and it made sense for you, please leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you guys. Otherwise, yeah, even a simple small emoji goes a long way. Also, please give this video a big thumbs up. That helps me out a lot too. Feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way. Otherwise, I am just so incredibly grateful and thankful that you guys decided to stop on by here, spend a little bit of time with me here today. It definitely means the world to me. And yeah, so I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I am sending you lots of hugs and much love. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose this pink and gold, interesting looking ornament, I don't even know what shape it is. I'm sorry, my dog is being distracting. He's like groaning in the background as he's falling asleep, but he's so cute. Anyways, if you chose this pink and gold ornament, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what is haunting you guys. What is haunting you that you need to clear up, change, and get rid of so you guys can live your best life ever. So we're going to take a look first here at What's Brewin' Spillin' the Beans by Firewitch Tarot, because we are basically going to spill the beans all over this and find out what is haunting you. And we have Coming in After You, We have keeping a promise, running away, time management, nail salon, venting, talking about issues, and parenting, focusing on your children. Okay, you guys. So, with you guys, what I'm picking up on as to what is haunting you, first of all, I feel like there's definitely a love situation that's going on here that is kind of haunting you guys. So, I feel like you're probably most likely dealing with somebody who ran away. So yeah, it's highly possible you guys could be dealing with like a twin flame dynamic, because as most of you know, in a twin flame situation, there's usually the runner and the chaser. So if you're watching this, you were probably the chaser at one point and your person has probably been the runner at one point. So I feel like this person's non-committal ways of running away from you and everything is probably something that you're still dealing with. It's probably something that's still haunting you. It's probably something that's still difficult to deal with. Even if you guys have gotten past this point already, and even if you guys are communicating and maybe working on resolving things, I feel like this still kind of sits in the back of your mind. Like, even if you're talking to this person, you may proceed with caution, basically, and always kind of be wondering in the back of your head, well, what if I say something? What if I do something that sets them off into this mode again? And what if they just start running away again? And, if you're not talking to this person and they're still like this, if they're still running away, then for quite obvious reasons of what you're currently living in, that's something that you're struggling with and dealing with right now that isn't so easy and isn't so fun. However, we do have coming in after you as well, which to me says that this running away, dealing with this person, is only going to last for so long, and it's only going to go on for so long. And if you guys notice, we have this knight sitting here on this horse, and if you guys are familiar with the tarot, most of the time the knights are the ones who come in and take the action. And, this card is no different. It's basically that same kind of action card, action vibe. So I do feel like this person is going to transform this running away aspect that has been happening, and he's eventually going to, turn his ass around, basically, and decide, instead of running away from you, he'll start running towards you, basically. So at some point, this person is going to turn that around, but that's more so like their thing, and whatever it is that they need to realize, that is going to be their like epiphany moment where they're like, oh yeah, I need to stop doing things this way and I need to turn it all around. So that's kind of on them, but at some point they will turn that all around. And I feel like they will, because they did make a promise to you. Even if it wasn't like a promise in this physical external world, like I said, chances are, if you got this pile, you're probably dealing with someone who is a twin flame. And if so, you guys have already made this promise spiritually. You guys have made this promise on a soul connection, on a soul level. So eventually, they're going to turn around from running away from you to running towards you, because that promise has already been made. That's already like written in stone. It's just a matter of timing, is what it really comes down to. But I feel like a lot of the times, while you guys are kind of waiting for this to all work out, even that promise in itself can be kind of haunting, because it's like, when is it going to happen? It's like you're sitting there going, when, God, when? Why, God, why? How, God, how? And I know, because I've been there myself, and I have wondered that many, many times myself. And sometimes it's like it would just be easier if there was no promise, if it was just like, if it didn't mean anything, if it didn't matter, if that connection wasn't there. So sometimes the connection itself can just be haunting, because you can't really like shake it or get rid of it, even though it's a good thing. It's like, in those moments you're apart, in those moments where the running away is happening, those are the moments where you're just like, I just wish this wasn't even a thing. Like, my life was so much better before he came around or whatever. Like, I've had those moments myself where I look back and I'm just like, man, why can't my life be like how it was in 2017 or 2018 or whatever? Why does it have to be like the way it is now? Like, it was easier then. I was comfortable then. I was content then. So, this may haunt you, and you may have those moments yourself where you're just like, I would be comfortable and I would be content without this person. And that's true. You may be. But God usually wants more for us than to just sit there and be comfortable, unfortunately. If you're comfortable, chances are you're not going to be staying that way for very long, especially if God has a greater mission for your life and a deeper desire for your life, which he usually does for most of us. So I definitely feel like this dynamic with this person has been haunting you, regardless of what point you're at, whether you guys are still in the runner-chaser phase or whether, they're finally turning around and starting to come towards you. I just feel like the entire experience, regardless of where you're at on it, is probably very haunting. So yeah, it's a lot. It's overwhelming. And I feel like, another thing to kind of go along with that, we have nail salon, venting, talking about your issues. So I feel like, especially in this situation with this person, you guys have probably vented a lot about it. So, maybe you have a close group of friends that you talk to about it, or, like I know on Facebook, I know there's a lot of like twin flame groups and that kind of thing. So, even if there aren't people in your regular everyday life that you interact with, even if they don't understand it, maybe you have friends online or something like that that you've connected to and they understand it. And maybe a lot of you guys kind of share and vent your own issues, which I do feel like to a certain degree probably helps relieve some of that pressure. It probably helps relieve some of that haunting energy, I guess you could say. I wouldn't rely heavily on it just because, I don't believe like gossiping in a sense or taking other people's words completely at heart is the solution to it. I feel like the ultimate solution is time in prayer, meditation, a word from God, that kind of thing. I feel like that's ultimately what will help you. I've always heard this phrase, you guys, whenever you're going through something in life, it's always better to run to the throne before you run to the phone, basically. So yeah, run to the throne, run to God first, then go ahead and talk to your friends about it. But yeah, I'm not saying that, talking to your friends or connecting with other people is a bad thing. It definitely isn't. There can be relief in that. And sometimes God does speak through other people too. Like, that's definitely something to be noted as well. Sometimes these conversations can be very healthy and can be very therapeutic. So, just all things in balance, I think, not too heavily relying on friends, of course, not too heavily relying on other people for their input in the situation, but at the same time, like, still allowing their input to be of help and assistance when it can be. So, yeah. And then with time management, I feel like you guys may struggle when it comes to time management in general. It could be connected to this person. Maybe you and this person have issues connecting to one another because maybe you both just have very busy schedules. Maybe you guys have opposite schedules when it comes to like work or something like that. But I definitely feel like time management is an issue. Even outside of this person, even if, that wasn't an issue at all, I feel like time management may be a problem for you. Maybe you're like an entrepreneur and you're juggling many different things at once. Maybe you're juggling family and friends and work and like all these other different things, and you don't get a lot of sleep like me. I mean, right now it's 3:57 in the morning right now, and I'm still recording this, and I still have 2 more piles to do after this. So maybe you're like me and your schedule's all off kilter and all off whack, who knows. But anyway, yeah. So I feel like time management is definitely an issue here where you may need to adjust your schedule and get into a better rhythm that may help you just in general in getting your life to run smoother and run better. And one of the reasons your time management may be very busy and hectic is you could be a parent. Yeah, so we have focusing on your children. And I don't feel like your children are haunting you, of course not. I feel like your children, if anything, are a blessing, if anything, but there could be definitely time management issues attached to your children because children can definitely take up a lot of time, especially in the COVID kind of world we're dealing with today. Maybe you've been homeschooling or something like that. So definitely being a parent here is a factor, but I don't, like I said, I don't feel like your children are necessarily the thing that's haunting you. It could be just like stress and pressure of dealing with certain things that they have to deal with in your schedule. For example, maybe you're not with their mother or father, so maybe you have, baby daddy, baby mama issues or something like that dealing with them. Maybe that's a part of the haunting issue. And if you don't have children, or if there's really nothing here that resonates for you in terms of your children being a haunting issue, it could be maybe hidden issues that you have dealing with your parents, for example. Like maybe your own relationship with your parents may be something that is haunting you a little bit, where it affects your current relationships right now. So, parenting, it doesn't necessarily have to be you as the parent, it could also be like how you were parented as a child. So that could be something that could be haunting you. You may need to do a little bit of inner child work if that's the case. Or, maybe you want to become a parent if you're not a parent, and maybe that desire to become one is something that's kind of haunting you. And maybe that desire is just like a little bit more overwhelming than it should be. And you may wind up building resistance against it basically because it's like you kind of place this priority over it rather than just let it flow and happen naturally. I mean, how many times do you hear those stories of women who are like trying to get pregnant and they try for years and years and years, and there's nothing physically wrong with them. They don't have endometriosis, they don't have PCOS or anything like that, but they try and they try and they try and they never get pregnant. And then it's like when they kind of give up in a sense, all of a sudden, boom, they're pregnant. So it's because they let go. They let go of the resistance. They surrendered, and that's why it suddenly happened. That was probably the case for my mom because my parents didn't have me until like 7 years after they got married, and I know that they wanted to have me a lot sooner than when they did. And there was nothing wrong with my mom. Like my mom was perfectly healthy when she was still having periods and stuff. So, she probably had some mental stuff that was blocking that. And then when she let go of it, there I was. So, yeah, I mean, if you're someone who's not a parent and you want to be, that easily could be like what the issue is there. Let's get a few Moonology cards for you guys. And you guys have, you are good enough, full moon in Virgo. So if you have any insecurities, any doubts, any reasons for thinking that you're not good enough, that you don't, for example, that you don't deserve to be a parent, or you feel like you have to be all things to all people and do all things for all people and never have any time for yourself, or you feel like this connection with this person, like you're not good enough for that or something, you got to drop that because you are good enough for all of it. You're good enough to be that amazing parent. You're good enough to have this beautiful connection with somebody, and you're good enough to have a schedule that's healthy and balanced and not chaotic and crazy. Also, the answers you need are coming full moon in Gemini. So, anywhere in your life where you may have some doubts and insecurities and just not necessarily sure how it's going to play out, what's going to happen, the answers that you need are coming. So, just keep up the faith, keep holding on, and those answers are on their way. And nothing will come of the situation. Void course moon. So I feel like basically that's saying the situation that they're referencing, I feel like that's basically saying nothing will come of what's haunting you, because that's what we've been asking here. What's haunting you? And I feel like basically this card is saying that nothing will come of those things. Nothing will come of the things that are haunting you. So nothing will come of any fears, any doubts, any worries, any insecurities that you have revolving around any of these issues, whether it's parenting, your person, your schedule, any negative stuff that you're holding on to, dealing with any of that, nothing's going to come of it. So just don't worry about it. You're going to get the answers you need. You're worthy. You deserve it. And that's that. Finally, from Loving Words from Jesus, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away, you guys got pray always, Luke 21:36. And that's super important. And honestly, prayer is the key for everything in life. Like basically, in my opinion at least, like I feel like we should be talking to God on a daily basis, just like we would, our best friend or a family member or whoever. It doesn't have to be like some lofty, prayerful, overly spiritualized thing. Half the time, like I kid you not, you guys, I take my dog out for walks here while I'm visiting my mom. And the neighborhood that she lives in, it's not very busy, and especially with it being cold and everything, there's not a lot of people out. And I kid you not, I have like these audible, out loud conversations with God, and I talk to him like I would any other normal person. And if anyone saw me, well, first of all, they might think I'm crazy because they might think I'm talking to myself, but they also might think I have like an earbud in or something. And if they think I have an earbud in, they would probably think that I was like talking to, you know, like having a regular conversation with somebody on the phone, because that's how I talk to God basically. And, I feel like it makes the relationship more personal and more intimate. And, yeah, and it helps me. It helps me to spend that time in prayer. So for me, prayer is like breathing. So yeah, I feel like any time in prayer is definitely going to help you guys too. So yeah, that's what I see going on for you guys. I hope it made sense and resonated. If it did, please let me know and leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you, even if it's a simple small emoji. Also, please give this video a big thumbs up. That definitely helps me out too. Feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way. Otherwise, I am just so incredibly grateful, you guys, that you decided to stop on by and hang out here with me for a little bit today. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I am sending you lots of hugs and much love. Hi, Pile 4. If you chose this cute little hat box Christmas ornament, this Christmas gift ornament, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what is haunting you. All right. It's so cute. All right, stay little box. Thank you. Okay, we're going to get started here with What's Brewin' Spillin' the Beans by Fire Witch Tarot, because basically we're going to spill the beans right now, you guys, and we're going to spill the beans all over whatever the hell is haunting you. And you guys got hater, doing drugs, kicked to the curb, caught up, finding evidence, getting caught, cheating, movie date, and salt or sugar. looks can be deceiving. All right, you guys have a lot going on here. Definitely some heavy duty stuff happening. Okay, so let's get into this here, you guys. So, right off the bat, what I see dealing with you guys in terms of what's haunting you, we're going to talk about this doing drugs card. Now, this could mean a couple of different things. It could mean that you yourself have had a past and have had a history dealing with addiction. And it doesn't necessarily have to be drug addiction, like on the card, but there could just be some kind of addiction in general that could be a struggle for you. And any kind of addiction is definitely something that would be haunting you in your life. It could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be overspending, like shopping too much, it could be overeating, it could be sex, it could be all kinds of different things. So take it as it resonates, but I definitely get the vibe from this card that there's some kind of addiction of some sort that has been haunting you, that's kind of been an issue that's been in the way here. And with caught up, finding evidence, getting caught cheating, I feel like there's definitely been, I don't even know how I should hold this card. Should I show it to you guys this way or this way? I don't know. Because we got the writing that's this way, and then the picture is this way. I don't know. I'll hold it this way for right now. Anyway, I feel like with this card, it's basically kind of like indicating, to me at least, a third party situation. It could be that somebody cheated on you, basically, or you cheated on somebody. And either way, that entire situation is kind of still following you around. So if you are the one who was cheated on, you could be carrying a lot of trust issues around where you just don't trust anyone anymore. And, everything is a red flag to you. And you have your walls up, you have your guard up, and you're just not letting anybody in. If you were the one who cheated, then I feel like it's basically saying that you could have a very guilty conscience and you could feel very bad about your poor decisions and your lack of better judgment that you've made in your life. So, either way, both of those situations are definitely negative things, heavy burdens to be carrying around one way or the other, but it seems like there was definitely a situation that involved cheating, a third party situation that probably tore you down a little bit and destroyed you a little bit to basically be a negative thing to carry around. And as for hater, I feel like this definitely comes out of the third party situation. So I feel like basically with the third party situation, if you were the one who cheated, I feel like probably, when the truth came out, whatever it was that happened, probably a lot of people basically hated on you and didn't understand your reasons as to why you did it. And, they didn't give you any patience, they didn't give you any grace, they didn't give you any understanding, they didn't give you any forgiveness, whether it was the person that you cheated on or maybe other people in the situation. So yeah, I just feel like there are probably some people around you who are not your biggest fans as of the moment, if that had been the case. If it's the other way around and you... Oh, sorry, I just heard the door. Not my door. My mom just went to the bathroom, so I heard the bathroom door or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on out there. Especially considering it is 4:13 in the morning. Anyway, yeah, I was gonna say though, with the hater card, if you were the one who was cheated on, I feel like the same kind of thing. Like, I don't feel like people hated on you because you were the one who was cheated on. If anything, people would feel, sorry for you. They would probably feel bad for you. They would probably sympathize with you. But I feel like you probably felt pretty hated to be cheated on, basically. It's like someone would have to hate you in order to hurt you to that level. like maybe you felt like your significant other who did the cheating, you probably felt like they hated you. The person that they hooked up with, you probably feel like that person hated you, kind of a thing. So either way, I feel like you're someone who has definitely been surrounded by haters, and that there have been people who just pretty much haven't understood you. Because I feel like if people really understood you, if they really understood who you were, then there wouldn't be anything to hate. And I feel like if anything, it's misunderstandings that make them feel that way towards you. And because of this, because of all this rejection here between the cheating situation and people who haven't necessarily been your biggest fans or your biggest supporters, it's definitely made you feel like you were kicked to the curb. It definitely made you feel like just rejected and dejected and down and out and like nobody's there, kind of a thing. So I definitely feel like it brings that kind of thing on. A lot of rejection, and you never know. Another thing I'm picking up on, you guys, here, especially with the addictions, you could also have haters attached to your addictions, because maybe people didn't understand what you've been through there, like maybe people misunderstood that too. Like, it doesn't even necessarily have to be tied to the cheating situation. There could be haters attached to you for other reasons as well, where like maybe you did get caught up in drugs, or maybe you did become an alcoholic, and instead of people loving you and trying to help you, they just judged you and criticized you and hated on you for it, basically, rather than tried to be there for you and be loving and understanding. And therefore, like I said, it made you feel rejected. It made you feel like people didn't care, and like you were basically just disposable and discarded, which is, like I said, heavy stuff, you guys. Like, that's a heavy thing to be carrying around, to to basically carry around as like a heavy burden to be haunted by on a regular daily basis. Okay, salt or sugar. Looks can be deceiving. So I feel like with this card, once again, I feel like this goes back to misunderstandings. I feel like people just kind of look at you in a certain way, and that's where this hate winds up coming in, and they wind up misunderstanding who you really are. So, if anything, I feel like other people are deceived by what they see on the surface. If you're someone who's been caught up in addictions, like I said, they may just automatically write you off and judge you as an alcoholic, as a junkie, as, someone who spends too much money, whatever the case may be. As a gambler, whatever. People may just write you off as that because they just see what's there on the surface. They don't see anything going on underneath. They don't look at that. So therefore, looks can be deceiving. Same thing with the cheating situation. Like, if you were the one who cheated, for example, they may just write you off and look at you as a homewrecker or something like that. And they don't see other factors that may have been going on underneath the surface. So once again, looks can be deceiving. So I feel like a lot of people misunderstand you, and it's like they kind of just write you off as this horrible person when you're really not, and you have other things going on. And it's almost like this cycle where it becomes harder and harder to crawl out of that hole and, in a sense, prove that you're a good person, because, it's like every time you try, people judge you and misunderstand every single time. So with movie date, I know this card is totally weird and out of place with the with the rest of them that came out, but with movie date, I feel like basically this card is saying, like, kind of like to have like a little bit of relief of just using your imagination and getting lost in a movie, if that makes any kind of sense. Because really, it's like the story of our lives is like our own movie, pretty much, our own book. And, we are the writer of it, we are the director of it. and you can get creative and create a new movie for your life. It doesn't have to continue to be like this. You don't have to continue to accept people's hate. You don't have to continue to accept people's rejection. Who cares what people see on the outside? Who cares what people are deceived by, from the surface level up? I feel like you guys just kind of need to like get creative and reinvent yourself, basically, is what it comes down to. Because movies are creative. Movies think outside the box. Movie is a form of entertainment, a form of creativity. It's a form of art, basically. So I feel like that's basically what you guys need to do. Like, step outside the box and create your own movie. Change it, like, so far this has been like a horrible nightmare drama sad movie. And you guys can change that. You guys can throw some humor into that, and you can change it around into a happy ending. So I feel like that's totally possible, but you guys definitely have some heavy duty stuff here that is definitely weighing you down and needs to be let go of. So yeah, piles, I think it was piles 1 and 4, you guys are my heavy duty groups for sure. Okay, let's get something from Moonology here and see what we got going on from Moonology. A new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra. So, right off the bat, the first thing that I'm getting here, honestly, you guys, is self-love. Even though it says romantic love, I feel like the first thing that comes to my mind here, honestly, is self-love. Because you're not really going to be able to have a healthy new beginning in romantic love, friendship love, family love, any kind of love, unless you have a healthy dosage of self-love with yourself. And I feel like you guys are really struggling with that based upon all this other stuff that has been going on, that's been weighing you down and that's been haunting you. So I feel like a new cycle really in self-love is what's coming in for you guys. And you guys are going to start learning how to love yourselves better and accept yourselves better, and know that you are so much more than all this other stuff that has happened, that you're so much more than an addiction. You're so much more than a cheating situation. You're so much more than people hating on you, and you don't need those people anyways. You're so much more than any time you've been rejected. So yeah, I feel like you guys are definitely going to begin this new phase, this new cycle of self-love, which is going to spur on love everywhere else really in your life. And we have Don't Let Your Past Hold You Back, South Node, which totally makes sense because, like I've already covered here with everything else, you guys have had a really heavy duty past. Like, you guys have definitely been through the school of life, like the school of hard knocks. You guys have not exactly had the easiest life for sure. I would not call you guys privileged whatsoever. You guys have been through the ringer. You guys have experience. You guys may be a little rough around the edges, but that's okay because, when you're rough around the edges, that's going to make you so much more compassionate and so much more understanding and so much more unconditionally loving towards other people, where others who may have had a more sheltered existence, a more healthy background and everything, may not necessarily be able to grasp and understand that as well. And we have It's Time to Release Negativity, full moon in Scorpio. Sorry about that. My throat is cutting out on me here a little bit. But yeah, full moon in Scorpio, it's time to release negativity, and that's pretty obvious. All of this stuff here has been pretty negative, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, we were asking what's been haunting you, and this is some heavy duty stuff to be haunting you. So it's time to release that. It's time to release any hate from haters or even from yourself. It's time to release these addictions. It's time to release your rejections that you've experienced. It's time to release all that. It's time to start rewriting the movie of your life and start being the star and starring in that movie and making the best of it. Finally, you guys, from Loving Words from Jesus, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away, you guys got forgive and you shall be forgiven. Luke 6:37. So if you guys are harboring any bitterness, unforgiveness, resentment towards anybody in your life, it's time to forgive them. And it may be hard because these may be people who have hated on you. It may be people who have rejected you. It may be people who have not treated you the best. And, you know, that can be really, really hard, but it's best to forgive them anyways because you're doing that not for them, but for you. So that way then you can be released from that prison. So you can, not drink the poison basically that you intend for them, and it only winds up harming yourself. So you can be released from that. You can walk out into the sunshine and you can live your best life then. And then you can start to be forgiven, and then you can start to feel whole and better about all the things that maybe have gone wrong for you that you've done in your past. So hopefully that made sense and resonated for you guys. If it did, please let me know and leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you, even if it's just a simple small emoji. And please give this video a big thumbs up. That definitely helps me out a lot. Feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an amazing day. I am so incredibly grateful and thankful that you guys decided to stop on by here and hang out with me for a little while. Keep sparkling. I'm sending you lots of hugs and much love. Hi, Pile 5. If you chose these adorable golden bells and the pretty red bow at the top, if you chose this Christmas ornament as your pile, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what is haunting you. All right, we've had some pretty intense stuff come through in these piles, you guys. 1 and 4 were definitely really heavy. 2 and 3 had stuff to work out too, but, it wasn't as heavy. It was, other things. But let's see what's going on for you guys. Starting out with What's Brewin' by Fire Witch Tarot, Spilling the Beans. We're going to spill the beans on whatever it is that's haunting you right now. And you guys got envy, in their feels, fake apology, nothing, needing to stay safe, protection, falling apart, falling into pieces, falling into pieces, all torn up. And getting played, manipulation, lies, and control. Okay, all right, you guys have quite a bit going on here, but we're going to dive in and make some sense out of this. Okay, so for you guys, I feel like somebody in your past really, really hurt you, and they really cut in deep. And take it as it resonates. The relationship could be just about anything. It could be a friend. It could be a romantic situation. It could be a family member. So, take it wherever it applies. I feel like it could be in any of those situations. Just somebody that you were close to, somebody that you trusted. I definitely feel like somebody hurt you bad. And I feel like this person basically played you. They probably lied. They maybe tried to control you. They tried to manipulate you. This could have been someone who had a narcissistic behavior tendency, basically. And I feel like, it's highly possible that they were or they are narcissistic, because I feel like every time things went wrong between the two of you, and you would stand up for yourself basically, and you would try to defend yourself, this person would swoop in with a fake apology to make everything better, and to basically, in a sense, get a hold of you again and get that control back onto you, pretty much. Like, they would never actually mean it when they apologized, but it was like a chess move for them. It was like a game play for them, that it's like if they gave you what you wanted temporarily, they knew that they could hold that over you later, and use it as a leverage basically for themselves later on. So I feel like there were a lot of fake apologies from this person, a lot of getting played by this person. I feel like it definitely sent you in your feels, basically. I mean, look at this guy on the card, he's got his head down, he's kind of, like holding his head like he has a headache. It looks like there's some alcohol there in the picture too, so it's almost like this guy is being driven to drink. And I feel like you guys probably have felt like this many, many times dealing with this person, that you just kind of feel at a loss, and they give you a headache, and it's like you just don't know what to do. It just really puts you in your feels a lot of the time. Um, and I feel like this person is the way that they are towards you because they're very envious of you. I feel like they have a lot of envy because you're probably somebody who is the opposite of a narcissist. You may be an empath. And a lot of the times, empaths wind up attracting narcissists into their life, whether it's romantically or as a friendship or whatever the case may be, simply because it's like they almost know that they can bend you over backwards and get anything that they want out of you, because, let's be real, empaths can kind of be pushovers in a sense, simply because, it's like your heart is so big and so caring and so giving. It's like it's hard to put up those boundaries. But I do believe that this person and their existence in your life, I do believe they've taught you how to create boundaries, because now you're at a point in your life where you need to stay safe from this person, where you need to protect yourself from this person, where boundaries need to be established. And I feel like this is something that you struggle with, because it's like those walls need to be put up, but at the same time, it's like those walls can't be so high to the point where you never let anybody into your life. But at the same time, those boundaries need to be tall enough that it does protect you, and that you don't wind up getting yourself into trouble and being involved with toxic, unsavory people such as this person. Because when you do just kind of like, I don't know what's going on out there. I keep hearing things. Um, but when you do wind up doing that, it puts you in this position basically where you're falling apart pretty much, where you wind up falling into pieces, all torn up. It just kind of depletes all of your energy, and it takes everything out of you. And, that should never happen. You should never be putting yourself into that situation. Now, this could be somebody that you're currently dealing with, which would definitely explain why it would currently be haunting you. But even if this person is long gone, even if this person is a part of your past and it's someone that you're not actively dealing with anymore, I feel like there's just like residue basically of this person still kind of lingering in your system, lingering in your thoughts, lingering in your emotions, where it still brings you to this place sometimes where you fall apart. And then it really makes you struggle, if anything, in connecting with other people in your life, because there are these fears that you're going to get played again, that there are these fears that you're going to come across people who are wearing masks and not being who they really say they are. And like I said, you guys, I feel like you have issues here when it comes down to boundaries, and it's like you don't know, like, how far they should go up or how far they should come down. And, you know, who is trustworthy and who is not. So, yeah, I feel like this is a big struggle for you guys, understandably so. But this is definitely something that's kind of creeping around and lingering in your life, and is kind of like this ghost that's always following you everywhere you go. Okay, we also have a few cards here from the Moonology deck, and you guys have faith in your dreams, waxing crescent moon. So I feel like with this card, it's basically saying, yeah, to have faith in your dreams, and instead start working on that. Start going for your goals, start going for your dreams, start going for the things that make you happy and bring you peace and bring you joy. Because when you're doing those things, you're not focused on this, you're not focused on this garbage. It's a good way to kind of like reframe yourself. And if you're following your dreams, most likely you're probably going to be aligned with and wind up meeting people who are like-minded as you and who are ultimately really supposed to be there in your life. You know, if you're not following your dreams, if you're not following your passions, if you're not following your desires, you're probably going to come across more people like this who are wearing masks, because in a sense you're wearing a mask too, because you're not authentically being real and not being yourself. So, yeah, so follow your dreams. It's definitely going to help break away some of this stuff. Show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. And once again, like I was just saying, stop wearing a mask, you guys, because the more you wear a mask, you're going to wind up pulling in other people who are also wearing masks in their lives towards you. And then, you know, once again, that's going to cause more hurt and more pain. It's going to bring you more times of falling apart over it and feeling like you're getting played. And, you know, ain't nobody got time for any of that. So, yeah, so show the world the real you. And you may be afraid to because of these things that have happened in the past. But if anything, those things that have happened in the past are just stronger and bigger reasons why you need to do it even more. So, yeah, so definitely show the world the real you. Be your authentic, true self. Be transparent. It may be scary sometimes because we're just like, I don't know if people are going to really accept me for who I really am, what I really think, what I really believe, what I really want for my life. But you know what? Don't worry about other people. You do what's right for you, because you're here to live for you, not other people and their expectations and what they think. And finally, we have prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. So, yeah, I feel like better days are ahead for you guys. You know, if there's anything that we can rely on in life, it is change. Change is always going to happen. Change is always going to be there. So, you know, if things are going good, be grateful and be thankful for that, because chances are that's going to change and there is going to be a challenge at some point in your life after that. But if things have been horrible and crappy and shitty, kind of like this stuff going on here, that's not going to last forever either, because eventually that's going to change too. Which means if things have been bad, they're going to get better, and that means prosperity is going to be lying ahead. And I feel like one of the big keys getting to that prosperity here, you guys, is having that faith in your dreams and going for those dreams, as well as being the real you, because the real you is also going to go for those dreams, and that's going to make a big difference and help as well. So, yeah. Also, from Loving Words from Jesus, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away, you guys got, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. John 10:11. So I feel like basically this card is pretty much a reminder that God's got you. And I know the whole thing of like being a so-called sheep is kind of like a negative connotation to it nowadays. At least if you think about it in the political atmosphere of things, a lot of people just kind of like haphazardly casually throw that around like, oh, don't be a sheeple, blah, 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 blah. Well, at least in terms of your relationship with God, a relationship with a higher power, being a sheep is a good thing, because you know what? Jesus takes really good care of the sheep. He makes sure that they have their food, that they have water, that they're safe, that they're protected, that he has all the flock together with him, that, you know, if one goes and wanders off, he goes and he finds that sheep. And you know, he protects them from like coyotes and wolves and, you know, all the nasties out there in the forest that would want to try and like eat them up and make them dinner and stuff. So, you know, that's the thing. Like the good shepherd, God, source, spirit, that higher power, he takes good care of us. It's good to be his sheep. It's good to allow him to do that for us. So I feel like basically that's what this card is saying, and you know, to allow him to take care of you, and you know, to tear those walls down, especially when it comes to God. Because there's no reason to have to protect yourself when it comes to God. God will always be there and always love you unconditionally, and that is the exact opposite of narcissism and all this that's going on up here. So I feel like that's what this card is saying. So yeah, I hope that made sense, and I hope that resonated for you guys. I'm sorry if I got a little distracted here at the very end of this one, because I've been recording for a while and it's like going on 5 o'clock in the morning at this point as I'm recording this, and I know I need to go to bed, and I feel like my mom is like being weird out there and not liking the fact that I'm recording so late at night, because I keep hearing like doors and stuff. I don't know what's going on out there. I'm so used to like recording at home by myself, so it's a little strange recording with another person under the same roof as me. So still something that's a little awkward for me. Anyway, thank you guys for coming out and checking out this reading, of course. If it did make sense, if it did resonate for you, please leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Even if it's just a simple small emoji, it goes a long way. Also, please give this video a thumbs up. That definitely helps me out too. Feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just so incredibly grateful that you guys decided to stop on by and hang out here with me for a little bit today. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I'm sending you lots of hugs and much love.